You know all that talk about AI coming for our jobs? Well, the biggest story isn't what you think it is. It's not some total robot takeover. It's actually something a lot quieter. And it's happening right now.
So, what if the real threat here isn't that AI is coming for every single job all at once?
But what if, instead, it's quietly deleting the one job that matters most? The one that lets you start a career in the first place. That's the piece of the puzzle most people are missing.
Look, the biggest danger right now isn't some expert lawyer or senior engineer being replaced overnight. No, it's at the very first rung on the career ladder is starting to crumble. And if that first step disappears, the whole system is in serious trouble. All right, so let's cut through all the noise. What is actually happening on the ground? This is the real AI threat, and it's unfolding as we speak.
3 years. We've all seen these dramatic headlines, right? AI will replace everyone. The robots are coming for all our jobs. But that's not the full story. At least, not yet. The reality is a lot more specific, and frankly, a lot more dangerous.
AI is starting with the tasks that have always belonged to junior workers. It's targeting the repetitive research, the first drafts, the basic coding, the document reviews. In other words, the exact work people used to do to learn, to get experience, and to move up.
And this right here? This is the real shift. See, AI doesn't have to wipe out an entire profession to do serious damage. It just has to delete the first step.
And here's the part you really have to get. None of that junior work was ever glamorous, but that was never the point. It wasn't just cheap labor, it was an apprenticeship. It was how we trained the next generation of experts.
I mean, just think about it. Junior marketers doing research, analysts cleaning up data, paralegals reviewing endless documents, developers writing simple code, content teams drafting basic copy. AI is getting very good, very fast, at all of these boring, but absolutely essential tasks.
So this creates this powerful compression effect inside companies. Let's say you have a team that traditionally needed 5 people to get the job done, with a couple of them handling all that entry-level work.
But now, with AI tools, a couple of senior people can handle that junior work all by themselves. And just like that 5-person team becomes a 3-person team.
And as the technology gets even better, maybe that team shrinks to just 2. It's not because AI is replacing high-level human judgment, but because it automates just enough of the grunt work to compress the entire team. And hey, this is not just a theory. In 2024 alone, companies directly pointed to AI as the reason for over 55,000 job cuts. That is a 12-fold increase from just 2 years prior. This compression is already here.
So, what happens when you systematically remove these entry-level positions? You don't just lose jobs. You break the entire system of how people build a career.
This visual really hits it home. The career ladder has always started at the bottom. You do the basic work as a junior, you learn the ropes, and you slowly climb. But what happens when that first step is just sawed off?
And this brings us to the crucial question. If we automate away the training ground, how does anyone become an expert? How do you develop the judgment needed to supervise AI if you never did the basic work in the first place?
That is the deeper crisis. It's not about job loss in the short term. It's about skill formation loss in the long term. We risk creating a generation of workers who never get enough practice to become the senior leaders of tomorrow.
This also explains why the public conversation about all this feels so confusing. Are companies hiring or firing? Is AI good or bad? Well, it depends entirely on your perspective.
From a company's point of view, they're just becoming more efficient, streamlining productivity. And they're not wrong. But from a potential worker's point of view, that same efficiency just means the door is closing. There are fewer ways in, and both things can be true at the same time.
And when those doors start closing, this stops being a tech story and it becomes a much bigger social story. It creates a new, very clear dividing line in our society.
Because these entry-level roles were always more than just jobs. They were a critical engine for social mobility. They were how people without elite connections could build a career, learn inside a company, and work their way into the middle class.
If these pathways shrink, inequality gets worse. It's that simple. Those who already have the experience and skills can use AI to become even more productive. But those trying to get their start, they find themselves locked out of the system entirely.
So no, AI is not replacing everyone all at once. The truth is more specific. The real warning isn't a loud, sudden revolution. It's a quiet, slow-motion exclusion where the ladder to opportunity is pulled up, leaving fewer and fewer people with a way to climb.
And that leaves us with the most important question of all. If we allow AI to automate the first step of every career, how will anyone ever learn to take the second? How is the next generation supposed to get started? That's what we need to figure out.